Welcome, Cowhorse, Full Contact by Ben Self, with host Chris Dawson and Russell Dilday.
There we go. Action.
Did you just see that giant alligator? What in the world? Well, here we are, folks, and this might be a little bit, you're going to have to bear with us because we are not used to being on camera. We're certainly not used to giant Australian crocodiles snapping their jaws in front of us. But we're going to give you our attempt at a wrap-up show from the Stallion Stakes in Las Vegas. So, Russell, he was behind the curtain out there.
Yeah, both sides of the fence.
Both sides of the fence, but he was judging the non-pro, so I don't think we should be in any violation.
No.
The intent is there's no violation intent.
Yeah,
with
so
this
that's
conversation.
just put that out right
Just
now.
put that out there right now, right?
So it was a pretty phenomenal show out there.
Oh, man.
Huge.
Huge. And I tell you, the scheduling out there, there's always conversation, when we have more than one pen going at one time about, it inconveniences people from time to time. But these shows are so big. They're so big that there's no way not to do it. And so, I mean, I thought as a whole, everybody's gotten to be a lot better about, maybe functioning with a little more flexible in the herd help, let's say.
Yeah, and I think it's a good thing, Chris, because I think it's breaking up. I think we were getting a little cliquey on the herd help deal, and after we did at our show, I noticed a lot more mixing around, getting a lot of new guys in there helping in the herd, and getting a lot of the older guys mixing themselves up a little more. Right. I don't think it's bad. It gets to where in the herd you start thinking, if I don't have the best herd help, I don't have the best chance. So then the same guys get wore out. There needs to be more and more guys. And besides that, 92% of the time, it's not the herd help that screws you up. There's really a lot more responsibility with the cutter himself. That's why he's the one that gets to go in the herd.
Truer words were never spoken.
So what it felt like from the judging side of it, the heifers were a lot better in the herd. Not that the steers were bad, but they were a little tougher. They didn't allow for as many mistakes. The heifers looked a little short, like they would hang you out. But when they did, they wouldn't necessarily run through the hole, whereas the steers, if they hung you out, they're going to muscle in there a little more than the heifers would.
Right, down the fence, yeah. I think in the herd, I think they were all pretty even. I think I settled a couple sets of those heifers early in the week, and I thought they were real good. The steers I thought were real even. I don't know that the cows took anybody out, which I think that's all you can really ask for when you get to horse shows, make sure that the cows don't take you out in that herd work. In the fence work, obviously. That's what we love about it is sudden death. And like I say, I think there was a darn sure plenty of horses, plenty of cows to show your horse on out there.
Yeah.
And the cows won quite a bit. I mean, even them bridle horses and two-rein horses, they got exposed a fair bit. But it was it's neat to be able to, I don't know. For me, I would rather be in a situation like that than to where all the cows just have to know the pattern already, and it's just everybody's marking 16s and 18s and this and that, and it's just, let's see who can work these rascals and who can't. And that's the way. That's kind of how it started, and I feel like how it ought to be. So
they were pretty fair. I saw of course I was in the non-pro side, but I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 new cows that really just came in there and either didn't work or ran over them. They were workable.
Yeah.
They were very workable, and like you said, very even. It wasn't like a lot of times you watch a fence work and the red ones come in and they're bold, and then the black ones do you and then the white ones, you don't know which way they're going, but there
weren't no white ones. There weren't no white ones to have to worry with.
And there's a few almost all black.
Pretty much all. It made our jobs really easy in the herd, because I'm serious, we didn't know a cow all week. I think I knew 2 cows that I cut in the finals, and that was about it. And that was my only draw that was in the top half of them too. But it didn't matter, and there was a couple times, I'd get down about close to one of my draws, and shoot, maybe that guy before me would cut the couple cows that I did know. I'm like, well, that's just the Lord's way of saying you just need to stick to your plan. We, me and Clay and Matt, we all made our plan that we weren't going to jack with these cows. We were just going to walk through there and cut what was walking away. And we screwed up one time. Clay showed a bridle horse, and we cut a cow that we knew, and it run over him. And so we were like, well, that's about enough of that. Let's get back to feel. And
luck is better than...
well, I don't know about luck. I mean, at least feel. Come on now, Russell.
Feel. Feels better than intelligence.
Yes, situational cutting is how I like to refer to it.
Well, it was a pretty big payout.
It was.
I mean, and was there 200 head of horses in our Derby?
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible to me how much it's grown. And the non-pro, they showed and showed and showed. They had so many classes and showed so many nice horses. It was crazy.
Well, Debbie Crafton has a set to herself.
Yeah.
I don't know how many she had out there. I think she made the finals on 5 of them rascals.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Why did you do that to yourself?
Why are you doing that to yourself? And it's one of those deals. She's hard to get around. Steven Silva got her, though. Mm-hmm. But Debbie's hard to get around because she shows that many all the time. So she's getting so many reps and so much practice. And it makes her a very dangerous competitor in that non-pro. But Steven Silva, he's eased in there. And, he put it on him. Got through, worked a tough cow and marked him on 16.5, I think. Mm-hmm. And pulled the win off in that non-pro. And I think he won all 3 divisions.
Oh, wow.
I told him, I said, you're going to look like Happy Gilmore driving around with all these giant checks in the back seat. And so it was, he did a heck of a job. We haven't seen Steven a whole bunch here lately, but it was neat for him to roll into town and get him a little victory right there. So
he looked good. When he was showing to me, it sat up good, trusted his horse. It was very good.
Yeah, I think Brent Ratliff, too, he rolled in there on, I think, a horse maybe he got from Matt Cook. I don't know about 100%, but he did awful good in that non-pro as well. I think he ended up, I don't know, I think it was Steven and then a conglomerate of Debbie and Brent and Debbie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
So that's kind of how that shook out, I believe.
And then in the Open, Clayton Etzel wins
out of the first draw.
Herd.
Right? Like Vaughn Kelly, this has been such a good horse. This was maybe first full crop of Stevie Ray Vaughn's. And I've liked this horse since he showed him at the futurity. This is a 5-year-old yielding. And the horse is always such a standout in the herd. And it looks like he's got him figured out down that fence now. And like I say, come out of that first hole, March 23, first horse out down the fence in the finals. And poor Booger had to sit around there and sweat
forever. Yeah,
5, 6 sets of horses, and we was chasing after him, but nobody quite got there.
Yep.
Yeah, Bergen got awful close to him.
Yep, real close, 2 points. That's not much per judge per event.
That's not about a quarter or so.
Yeah, quarter of a
give or
point.
take.
No big deal. Zach 34 wins a reigning with 222. Put him right up there and makes him a threat at a 4-point
right.
deficit.
That's such
for third.
a good horse. That is, and they're starting to stand him. I think he's even got some babies maybe coming on the ground this year.
I would think this year they'd be coming.
Yeah, but that is such a neat horse. Futurity champion.
Such a
it belongs to
trier.
Melissa Fisher there. That horse is.
He tries so hard every time.
Yes.
And I didn't judge him here, but when you're judging him, that horse has got you on his side when he comes in the arena.
Absolutely.
Because he gives so much effort in all 3 events.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the talk of the week though was Abby Mixon and her 227 on Don and Desi's horse. Son of a gun. What is that horse's name?
The best cowboy is a girl.
Looking for hot stuff.
And she stuck it on him.
She
yeah,
did.
looking for hot stuff.
Yeah, she showed 2 horses in them. She made one in the intermediate finals and then had this horse that she made the intermediate and open finals both on. She was an 18 on her other horse, but when she come in here on this horse and did completely annihilate this cow in both turns and then circled up with a ton of cow, and it was one of those runs where you just hand her the scorecard.
Yep. I watched that one a little bit at home, and that's exactly what Kelby and Brady said. They were calling the, they were calling the live feed, and they said, well, just hand her the sheet on her way out. Let her fill it, because she can be whatever.
She earned it though, because she was babysitting me and Todd Crawford both, and our 3-year-old's raining out there all week. So she got paid back for her good deeds. Like I say, everything comes through for her there in that fence work. But I think with both deals, I think they said she won, I don't know, close to $30,000 between where she ended up in the open and then winning the intermediate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's
Excellent.
unbelievable.
Superb.
Yeah, and like I say, we kept her worked out there. We kept her worked. It was funny. She was riding one of mine, and I says, well, what do you think? She's like, well, you got a spot here or there. I was like, oh, well, thanks. And I'm a little embarrassed to show you this other one. She was like, it's worse than this one? I'm like, well, that one's fine, dog. I don't know.
Killing me.
I'm like,
I was just kidding about how
you
bad
got
this was.
on the best one first. So we got her. She's got my raining fire lit now, and so now I came home and I rained today. I made it to the house and
One in a row.
one in a row. I rained a lot in Las Vegas, dude. My butt was so sore. And when I say raining, I mean she was making me walk.
Oh,
Walking around, like, dude, walking around for hours is the most miserable thing in the world. Like, I don't know how people go on trail
hey,
rides.
don't you remember that's what you had decided you were going to do?
I know, Haley.
After Haley Kinsel.
Yes, and I
then,
did for a little bit. My horses got pretty good, and then I got away
Did
from
you
it.
quit it?
Yep,
I
so
don't
these
need to do
girls
that
keep
anymore.
reminding me to walk. Dadgum, my help's gonna be so mad. It's gonna take me forever to work these things.
So Clayton pulls out 50,000, and what does Abigail Mixon pulled 13.5 in the one division?
Yeah, she went like 25,000 with the intermediate as well.
Superb. 40 for second for Bergen, 22.50 for Matt as fourth, 30 for Justin Wright as third. I mean, them's big payouts.
Hey, what about Matt Cook? Matt Cook has 3. He makes 3 horses to the finals, and all 3 of them end up in the top 10.
Wow.
I mean, that's doing it right there. And he shows the Smooth's the Cat Out of Stylish Little Oak. That's the Palomino mare that belongs to San
Maybe
Juan.
you should uninvite him from the reining help. He doesn't really need any help if he's already that high up.
He didn't get any reining help.
Oh, good.
No.
Good man.
Yeah, he didn't get
That's
any
thinking
help.
ahead.
Exactly. But then he's got the CD Diamond gelding, the big buckskin gelding for San Juan as well, and then Pep and Step, who I think is going to head to the roping pen after this horse show.
Oh.
And so, that's the way I understand it. And then my other brother from another mother, Clay, he got in there on old Metallic Casanova.
Yeah.
Was our winner
Super horse.
Winner from Celebration Champions Derby. Mm-hmm. And that horse had a real shot to make a move there down the fence. And like I say, made a couple really good turns, and it was a lot of cow going to the center.
Oh, air him out a little bit in the center. I didn't see it.
Yep.
Those cattle would do that.
Yep, and he got him worked, but just not as credit earning
Not
as he
where
would
he
have liked
needed
him
to
to have been. And so kind of kept him from moving up there into them top holes.
Well, he was still at 18.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It just takes
it was
so
pretty
much
good.
now.
Yeah.
Let's see, 662. What's that on the average?
220
and a half?
Yep.
Or a little less
Yeah.
than that?
Yeah, and I think those cows in the herd, I think, is what kept that number was maybe a little lower than what we've been accustomed to seeing in the last few major events. But I think in the herd, those cows just really didn't allow a lot of people to separate themselves and get up there. I think there was a lot of 16 to 18s, and it was a pretty darn good horse that was marking 16s to 18s in the herd. And so kind of the same thing in the rain. The rain was a little softer than we're maybe accustomed to, but that ground was just such, it was maybe a little slicker than what we get to show on more often than not, and so I think some of them horses had a little trouble managing that ground. And I mean, at first, you're hearing scores, you're thinking, man, this is soft, like what's going on? When I got up there and watched some, I'm like, man, these judges are hitting it dead on, but there's just holes and runs.
Holes and runs.
There's just holes and runs. Something, I mean, about the time you're thinking, man, this guy's really putting it on him, and then he goes down there and misses a stop or steps out of a turn or something like that. And it's like, and it's horses you didn't really expect to see that. And so there was just a lot of that went on, and I think all those things contributed to, that score being a little lower, that winning score being a little lower. I don't think it's indicative that horse show was any easier than the other ones we go to.
But I think that a lot of the stakes, because it's our first major back off of the winter, you know, we go so hard all the way through the world's greatest, and then there's just the weather has been tough everywhere this year, and that's what I watched of the Open. That's what I saw, really good horses with really good parts with holes.
Yeah.
Not that they weren't good enough, it just a little missed stop or a missed spin or a missed lead, or the circles weren't quite right, but then other parts of it were really big.
Yeah.
That's I think that happens a lot. I expect the Derby to be stronger because all those little holes will get patched up and everybody will come.
No,
running
for sure.
hard.
Yeah, that's
And
such
it's still
fun
1 week,
show.
still 220s across the board.
Right.
to win it.
Oh,
So-
absolutely. Yeah. Well, maybe more than that. I mean, like say, generally speaking, it's like you about got to be 20s. If you think you're gonna be in the top 5,
Yeah.
you better be planning on being 20s across there. You know, I know that it was kind of. I mean, I drew up later on, and I was like, well, I think I was sitting on a 34 or something. So I'm like, well, I'm about a 28 away, and Abby marked a 27. I said, and these cattle are tough, and man, they were having troubles. I was like, and people laugh at me. I was just,
It's opened
might be
up.
tonight. I ain't never marked a 30 before.
This could be it.
Could be it. I said, you know, and that's what I like about the nights that those cows are tough, is that the possibility for those huge runs are there, you know, and like I say, sometimes I maybe can be a little overconfident about it myself, and it doesn't usually work, but if I don't think I can do it, nobody else is going to either. So,
Right. And it's so, I do not like shows where the cattle are soft.
no,
But there's no way to separate.
No.
If they're not tough. Because, you know, the whole event came from the cow that left the herd, and whoever's the best cowboy on the best horse can get the worst cow back.
right.
So we're supposed to be working the worst ones.
Right.
The best ones stay in the
Best to
herd.
stay in the herd, exactly.
We
don't need a contest to
show
see who
off. Right, we don't need a contest for the ones that stay in the herd. Right. This is to see who can get the ones that won't stay.
Right. It always kind of reminds me of like when you never see anybody get a rewrite at the rodeo for a horse that bucked too hard.
Yeah, it bucked too hard.
bucked
I'm
too
going
hard
to show
out.
you I'm the best cowboy that can ride anything, but not on that one.
not
Not
when
on
it
that
bucks
one. I'll
out.
show you I'm better than you on one
Right.
that's not quite that tough. That's just my thoughts. So, the South Point was phenomenal.
South Point's always phenomenal. I told somebody, they asked me about going on a cruise, and I'm like, well, I picture the only way I would go on a cruise is if this was there. If I could have cows and 4 cows and stalls and 800 restaurants, and you know, then I would go on a cruise. I says, but otherwise, because this is about as close to being on a cruise that I feel like I can personally handle. I mean, I'm kind of in the same place, in the same people, going to the same places every day, and so
And great beds and
Yep.
a TV in the room.
that's it.
I mean, it's so superb. That's why I judge that one.
All right.
It's the best one to be at.
Well,
So it's our first show with our new executive director, Emily Conkle. She's been there forever. She's
She
the
has.
old mare in the stable, I tell her all the time.
that's only funny because she's, I don't know, what is she,
'Cause she's young.
26, right?
But ran her first show, and it's always tough to run your first thing when you're the one that is now the head of it.
Right.
And, so I'll bet she's glad that one's over.
Yes.
Yeah, you know there's no rest when you're the one
No, I don't.
everyone comes to for every problem.
Every problem, and like I say, there was a, I think she earned her money at this horse show.
Yep. And
So-
pulled it all off, and
And she
Good
had
for
the
her.
Hall of Fame banquet as well to
on
deal
top of it, I know it's not just a cakewalk.
with. All right.
Yeah, the first one that the judges show up to had to manage 10 of them and keep them at 2 tables. And they're
Man
not
alive.
all that easy.
No.
They're not
Yeah.
all as easy as me.
That is shocking that they could be easier than you.
And what a phenomenal banquet with
Really was. Who we had? Bill.
Bill Inc.
Bill Inc.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
Said,
he
hey, I'm
got-
going to try to keep this down to 2 hours.
Right.
The
And he
speech.
did. And he did.
And he did.
He
We had a
would have been
little-
done faster if Tim would have quit
Quit whistling
whistling
him
him
out.
out. We're like, if you get a third whistle, they're going to let you come back in after the next horse.
We didn't need that. 2's the max on him. He doesn't need to air up, for God's sake. And then
Randy
the
Paul,
beautiful Kathy Wilson.
Kathy Wilson, yes,
So awesome.
she is. Yeah,
That is
she's
truly genuinely great person right there. So
Yeah,
that
I don't
really,
know
really
Kathy
fun.
that well. The little bit that I've been around her, I always cherish the time that I get to spend around her. Like we'll be wandering around the arena or whatever, and we'll get visiting some. And I don't know why Ken Wold always has the best people. around.
It's unreal. Since 8 years old, she's been
Since
with
8 years old. I mean, but
crazy.
yeah, her and Robin and
Tons of them.
Dan Perez.
Paul and Dan,
Paul.
they've all been there.
Yeah,
Of course, he saved Danny's life at the last show, so he probably has to stay with Ken.
gotta stay.
Unless he goes to Tina.
Right.
She helped save his life. Tina did the mouth-to-mouth. Ken did the compressions.
Thank God they didn't switch that.
That's what I said, hey, just for future, that's the way it's supposed to be if I go down. I'll take a broken rib off Ken.
And we had Randy Paul.
Randy Paul,
went in.
super. Man, that was a super one. And so then we had Smart Chickalina,
There you go.
and the new owners came up and were overwhelmed with appreciation. And, it's crazy how much that horse has done. What he's produced, all the great ones.
And he's changed my life.
Why?
Traveling jumps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Smart Chicken Tory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That horse that, what was the one Ron showed?
Paid by Chick.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just,
And Cowgirls Are Smart.
cowgirls are smart, and I'm trying to think of another one.
Chicken Time.
Yeah, Chicken Time.
Chicken Time. That
Yeah.
was the one that
Yeah.
Randy trained at Ron. Show.
Dominant. Was dominant on that
Won
horse.
that first World's Richest.
Yeah, 100,000. that was a stomping. He stomped us. Unbelievable.
That was in Paso Robles, wasn't it?
No, it was at Save Mart Center in Fresno.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know, I've still never been there.
Really?
Never been.
Nothing goes there anymore.
Nothing goes there anymore. I've never been. I don't know if I ever even slowed my truck down in Fresno.
Well,
You ought to
probably
put
a
something
good
on.
thing you
You ought to
might
put
stay
something.
there.
You ought to put something on out there I can go show it. Maybe we can go judge something.
Oh, that'd be good. We need to go back downtown. What was the one where the fraternity was in the beginning?
I don't know. Like I said, I've never been there.
God damn. It was in the city. There's 4-lane street, high rises, and you just walk across to the motel. So everyone was together. It was really fun. The setup wasn't.
That's when the bar was across the street or whatever,
Yes,
right?
the bar, the
was
hotel,
upstairs.
and the restaurant are all in the same building, and it's a giant motel, so everyone stayed there. It was just, we were all together all the time.
It'd have to be a giant motel now, because then it didn't have to be that big, that giant
No,
of a hotel.
no.
But now, like barely everybody fits in the South Point for
I
crying out
know.
loud.
It's unreal.
Like,
That was where
that's
the-
one thing that shocks me, like how few people you'll run into at restaurants at the South Point. Like you would think,
There'd be more, but there's so many restaurants.
that's it.
Like being a judge, you're kind of slipping around there.
Kind
and
of
it ain't
disappoints
bad.
me. I tell you, the only thing that disappoints me about that is that what I always looked forward to about South Point was the arena's closing. But now there's so many people and there's so much stuff going on that they leave the arenas open at night. So now it's like, well, the arenas are open, you better go school your horses. It's like, I wish that they'd just lock the darn gate as soon as the show was over. Like, have them trained when you get here. Show gets over,
Go.
lock the gate.
Go to sleep.
Now go do
Go
things.
eat, drink,
do
go
things.
sleep.
That's
Yeah.
it. Come back tomorrow and we'll show again. But it has to be the same for everybody. But that'd be on my wish list.
Well, it could happen in August.
Oh man.
That Fresno is where the most epic wrecks was all.
Oh, that's where that came
That's where
from.
it happened. Yeah. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Selland Arena. That's where it was.
Selland, yes.
Yeah. Have the run
Oh
for
yeah, we
the
have the
million.
run for the million qualifiers. We're announced out there too, the bridal class. I mean, that was a whole day of bridal class, and we did
Crazy.
well, actually it was 2 days basically, because we did all the reining one day, then we came back did all the fence work another day, and so
How many were there in it?
there had to have been close to 100.
Wow.
Close to 100. It was unbelievable. But I think we had Justin Wright got qualified on Scooter Cat,
Abby Phillips.
Abby Phillips, and Lance Johnston.
Oh, good.
Yep, Lance Johnston and Shane Steffen
Excellent.
and Clayton Edsel.
Oh, wow.
Yep, those were our 5 that
Well,
got
those
qualified
5 are
there.
out of the way, thank
Those
God.
5 are out of the way. Yeah, yeah. Erin Termino was awful close, and so she'll be a force to be reckoned with at this next one. And
So is it 5 at the Derby
5
and
from
5
here?
at Tulsa also?
Yep. Yep.
5 and 5.
5 and 5.
Oh.
Yep. So if you did not get qualified here, we'll see you in Arizona and or Tulsa.
Load up and do it again.
Because I bet they won't be any smaller. Last year we thought, well, this will be nice. We'll get this first one out of the way. Then Arizona will be
Then
softer.
they'll stay home. They'll be easier.
They did not.
No, I know it wasn't any better.
Man alive. This was our first qualifier that we did not have to have a runoff. I don't know if the. I'd like to see the stats on that and see if 8th place would have been a tie or not.
Oh.
Because every other time it's been 8 and it's always been a
And then
tie.
they have to have a runoff.
Because I think Kelby was the first one out. I think
Because they just had 2 shows and it was 8 and 8, so they took 16.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kelby was the first one out, I think, on Crazy Horse at this one, and so he
Well,
was
he'll be-
a 40.
The pits next time.
Yeah. So maybe, but I think he won. If he won or won second in that spectacular though.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Threw that cutting in there and he got up on him. Did, how was the separation between the numbers in the spec and the numbers in the qualifier? Was it big or small or?
You know,
Do you
I
know?
don't know. It seemed like there was fair bit more in the 2 event. Like I know Justin
65
didn't.
and
Justin, I
90?
don't think. Probably something like that. Probably something like that. Justin didn't show Scooter Cat in the spec.
He was just trying to get to the million, send him home to breed horses.
Yeah.
Those babies will be coming this year, won't they?
Yeah, pretty excited
You'll have
about it.
3s this year.
Pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
Pretty darn excited. There's a lot of young studs that I don't know. I'm pretty stoked about. I'm breeding some mares to Scooter Cat and Casanova. And yeah, no, I think there's going to be a. I don't know. Pretty anxious to see what happens with these Cowhorse studs, you know, and how many people start breeding that direction.
If we start going to the junior sires,
Right.
now that we're getting established.
Sure.
You know, and then also so a lot of the junior studs now have riders behind them that have barns, so they'll help with the breeding
Right.
also versus just having someone that just owns the stud and is trying to get everyone to breed to them from the outside world. It's tough.
Right.
But, you know, Justin's got a lot of mares and a lot of clients with mares, so Scooter Cat and Zach are both going to have a little better shot.
Sure. Yeah, they're going to get every chance.
And honestly, the thing with Scooter Cat is those Daisy Dukes are so good. There's so many of them that he has a pull from outside just himself. Hazardous Material. And Todd Bergen was.
Yeah, that mare, that's a
was it?
mare that he was second on.
Yep,
that is
another
out of
one.
her.
Another reason to go that way to something else. That mare's hitting.
Yeah, and then Hazardous Material of Aaron's has been a phenomenal horse.
Yeah.
And
So you
it's
know
just-
that Bloodline's
just
good.
coming on. Yeah, I mean she really doesn't hardly miss.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Kathy Ferguson had one, maybe 2 years ago, and this thing was a dirty good fence horse. Yeah, so it was.
Where'd it go?
No, I don't know if Aaron still has it or not. I need to do a little investigating on that one. All these bridal events we're having.
Yeah.
Well, cheers. Thanks to Perks family and Ghostwood.
Helping us out, help us get through another
Helped us out.
interview.
For our first sitting at the table looking at lights and cameras.
Hey, we were beautiful on mic. I don't know how this video is going to work out.
I got a face made for the radio. So, cheers, everybody. Until next time, go fast, make good decisions.